Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom, everyone. Shalom. Hope everyone's having a wonderful evening. My name is Yehoshua, and I'm coming back with another video. And again, like I said, all my other videos, I apologize for not coming out with more videos more frequently. Knowing that I'm a dad, and it ties into my schedule. I get kind of busy with the kids. But for all my subscribers that stick with me, I appreciate it. In Parashas Balak, the king of Moab summons the prophet Balaam to curse the people of Israel. And before I go forward, I just want to drop a mini bomb. Balaam, the acronym of Balaam is Babel, Laban, Amalek, and Mizraim. Means Balaam against God. And I thought that was pretty cool. That was a little mini bomb. Shout out to my brother Yosef for that. First thing I want to talk about is the curses. I want to talk about the power of Balaam curse. And I want to read a little bit from our Barbanel. I've been studying our Barbanel a lot. If you have not gotten his commentary yet, I highly suggest you get his commentary for beginners. I've been studying him a lot. I study all the Parshas from our Barbanel, and you get a better understanding of the Parsha a lot better. So I want to talk about the power of Balaam curse real quick, and this is what it reads. There are numerous questions raised regarding the narrative of Parashat Balak. First of all, Barbanel is puzzled by the fact that God is angry with Balaam for going to curse the Jewish nation after he apparently gave him permission to do so. Second, why in the end does God prevent Balaam from cursing? Could Balaam curses actually have any power over the Jewish people? Our Barbanel cites the opinion of Ebenezer, who states that since God would later bring a plague on the people in Shittim, others would attribute this punishment to the curse of Balaam rather than the transgression of the people. However, Balaam curses themselves had no power. Our Barbanel disagrees, and this is where I agree with him on this. Our Barbanel disagrees with this answer and demonstrates from a verse in Yehoshua that if it weren't for God's merciful intervention, Balaam curses would indeed have taken effect. As proof, our Barbanel points out that Yehoshua mentions the miracle that God performed in rescuing us from Balaam's curse in his list of miracles that God performed on behalf of the Jewish people. I believe Balaam's curse, if he was to definitely curse the children of Israel, that they would be cursed. And it's no different as to what we see today. Now, in biblical times, there was a lot of sorceries, a lot of witchcraft that was going on in them times for the sake of evil, some good. And I believe that if he was to curse the Jewish people, it would be of a curse to turn all of the nations against the children of Israel. Just like today, the Jewish people is one of the most hated people in the world, and that's the truth. And just like back then, how Balaam was about to curse them, God came to him in a dream and told him not to. And it also says right here in our Barbanel, if God had allowed Balaam to curse the Jewish people, the nation of the world would have trusted his curse, guarded themselves for welfare, and been confident of success. Then to talk about the angel, how the angel stopped Balaam from going to curse the children of Israel. And this is what our Barbanel says. Balaam attempts to force the donkey back onto its proper path, demonstrating that there could be a collision between the natural order and divine providence, so that each one prevents the other from expressing itself fully. In such a case, divine providence will always emerge victorious. This is illustrated by the passage of a donkey through a narrow lane between two fences. Balaam scraps his foot against the fence when the donkey moves aside for the Malach, which is the angel. Not only must the natural order yield to divine providence when they clash, but its influence will be injured, i.e. reduced, just as Balaam's foot was injured with the Malach remaining unscathed. The sages say that God stopped Balaam from cursing the Jewish people. He had mercy on Balaam. He had mercy. He was going to commit destruction amongst himself. And as we read in Exodus how God has compassion upon whom he has compassion for, we see that he has compassion upon Balaam, and he was merciful to him to not have him curse the Jewish people. And it was a miracle how he talked to him through the donkey. So merciful that he uncovered his eyes to see the Malach, the angel, which is pretty neat. It talks about the end time in chapter 24, Numbers 24, verse 15. It definitely has to do with what we're going through today. And I'm gonna read that real quick, not trying to make this video too long. He disclaims his parable and said, the words of Balaam, son of Beor, the words of the man with an open eye, the words of one who hears the saying of God and knows the knowledge of the Supreme One, who sees the vision of Shaddai, while falling and with uncovered eyes. I shall see him, but not now. I shall look at him, but it is not near. A star had issued from Jacob, and a scepter bearer has risen from Israel, and he shall pierce the nobles of Moab and undermine all of the children of Seth. Edom should be a conquest of Seir, should be the conquest of his enemies, and Israel will attain success. One from Jacob shall rule and destroy the remnant of the city. He saw Amalek and disclaimed his parable and said, Amalek is the first among the nations, but his end will be eternal destruction. And it says in the commentary, a star is a king, and a scepter is the royal power to overcome opposition and bringing everyone under his sway. This Jewish king, which is the Moshiach, will defeat the nobles of Moab as well as the entire world. Seth was the son of Adam and Eve, who became the ancestors of all mankind, so that the children of Seth are all the people on the face of the earth. It also says, according to him, Messiah is called a star, more likely a shooting star or a meteor, because he will have to flash across heaven, visible to the whole world, as it were, to gather the Jews from their dispersion. At that time, Moab would not be spared, even though the Jews of Balak generation were commanded not to conquer Moab. This is exactly what the Moshiach said in Matthew. He told them that he was coming back for Israel. It says in Matthew that he's only coming for the lost sheep of Israel. It says right here, when he gathered all the Jewish people in exile from the four corners of the earth in the last days. He says he's only coming for Israel, just as it says in his commentary right here. Seir and Edom, the two names of Esau descendants, will fall to his enemy, Israel, and become its possession. Verse 19 concludes this aspect of the prophecy by saying that Israel would dominate Edom and destroy its most prominent city. This describes the end of days because the current dispersion is called the Edomite exile, during which Israel is considered to be under the dominion of Edom. This would end when Edom power is broken. In the last days, the Moshiach will bring the Jewish people out of exile into the land of Israel when he comes. So in conclusion, I want to read Genesis 12:13, where it says, I will bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you. As we see, Balaam was about to curse the Jewish people. If he was to curse the Jewish people, he would have been cursed himself. So when it reads this in Parashas 12:3, if we was to bless Israel, we will be blessed. If you pray for the Jewish people, if you pray that they stay on the right track, because I tell a lot of people this, they're the reason why the world is the way, they're the reason why we are still living. We have to remain loyal to the commandments and the decrees, and that we should pray for them. We should bless them, because God said, I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curse you. Now, you can only imagine how many people in the world are against the Jewish people, who curse the Jewish people. They will be cursed themselves once their soul leave out of here for cursing them, because God said, I will curse you if you curse them. And that's why it's important that we bless Israel, so we would be blessed. And I remember in the beginning of my faith, I will always bless Israel, because Israel is God's house. That's where God's people is. And knowing that I have prayed for Israel ever since I came to him in the beginning of my faith, it led me here. And I'm very blessed for that. That's Parashas Balak. And I just want to say thank you for those who have been waiting for my videos. You know, I appreciate that, and I apologize if I haven't been coming out with videos like that. Like I said, I'm a dad, and I'm doing a lot of rectification in my life. I'm trying to rewrite a lot of bad that I did in the past, and try to rewrite that with good by having a family, and I'm very blessed for that, and I can't thank God enough. So I'm coming back with another video. Stay tuned. This is Parashas Balak. Shout out to my brother Yosef for that mini bomb. My name is Yehoshua. Subscribe to the channel. If not, thank you for checking out my video. My name is Yehoshua. Shalom.